Hello, everyone. This is Brandon, and I want to welcome you all here to the Tansson Talks show. I am so excited to speak with each of you here today. And so, first of all, if you haven't already, be sure to go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That will definitely help out a lot. And it will be a great opportunity for you all to listen to all the amazing people who come out here today. But without further ado, please welcome my guest for today, Lauren Casole. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Brandon. I'm so excited. Happy Monday morning. I know it's nice and early, but thanks for letting me on the show.
Oh yeah, of course. I'm so glad to have you here today. Yeah, and so first of all, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing good. Last weekend was so fun because I go to college in Florida, but I was born and raised in all my family's back in New Jersey. So my parents came down this weekend and I got to hang out with them and show them around campus and do some fun Gator stuff. So it was a really great weekend.
That is so great. Is this their first time visiting you at campus?
Luckily, they come down once a semester, which is awesome. But since I'm graduating in May, this was their last time coming down before graduation. So there was a bunch of little things that we've been putting off. We're like, oh, we'll do that next year or we'll do that next semester. And my mom was like, well, this is our last semester. So it's either we do it now or never. But yeah, so it was a great time.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to have that time. And I guess for you, before we really get into this, so how was it for you being able to sort of show your parents around the place that you have, I guess, called home for the past, 3.5 years?
Yeah, honestly, I'm super lucky that they're able to fly down, once a semester and that I have that opportunity. And it's really great too because I love UF and I love my college and the life that I've built here. So it's really cool to let them in and show them that and also introduce them to my friends and show them the places that I go every day. So I took them to Weimer Hall, which is where all my public relations classes are and all of my PRSSA headquarters and all that great stuff. So to let them walk through the halls and meet some of my PR friends was really special because I talk about them so much and they're such a huge part of my life that the fact that they could shake their hands and talk to them in person was really special.
That is so cool, and I'm glad that you're at least giving them a chance to sort of put the faces to the names that I'm sure that that you call home speaking about too.
Definitely.
Yeah, and so before we really get started here today, are you able to take a moment to go ahead and introduce yourself for those who are watching or listening here today?
Absolutely. So, hi everyone. My name is Lauren Casole. I'm a senior at the University of Florida studying public relations, and I currently serve as the Vice President of Member Services for PRSSA National. So, that's mostly what I'll be talking to you about today and kind of what I'm working on in that position.
Oh, that is really great to hear. And so, like I said, I'm just super excited to get into this. And not only that, but you were actually recommended to come on to the podcast.
Yeah, so it was awesome because my friend Lauren G, who was previously on this podcast talking about Alpha Productions and some of her amazing projects that she's worked on throughout her time within PRSSA and at UF, she actually recommended you and she was like, Lauren, you should, sorry, we're both Lauren C, I'm Lauren C and she's Lauren G. So I always have to preface that because people get so confused. They're like, which Lauren are we talking about? Because we are very similar. But she was like, you have to go on Brandon's podcast. He's so awesome. I had such a great time. And it'd be a perfect platform to talk about my high school outreach campaign. So I emailed Brandon and here we are. So I'm very, very excited.
Yeah, I'm just so excited to get into this. And it's so funny how that works out.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so speaking of your campaign, so are you able to tell us a bit about your position with PRSSA National and really what you do as the Vice President of Member Services?
Absolutely. So I think my favorite thing about being vice president of member services is the wide array of things that I do get to get my hands in and really do great things with. So that's one of my favorite things is the wide array. But a brief overview is truthfully anything surrounding membership and really making sure that all PRSSA members get the most out of their membership experience and they know the resources that are available to them. So every month I hold a new member webinar. And in this webinar, it's for anybody who has joined PRSSA within that month. So I walk them through all of the different benefits and really how to maximize their membership. So I walk them through the internship bank, the PRSA job bank, all the scholarships and awards, different ways to get involved with national. And that's typically a half-hour webinar. And then I do open the floor for questions. So that's something that I do every month. And then I also get to judge all of the scholarships and awards. So the Star Chapter Award, I had the honor to look through and award the chapters who met all the requirements. I also did the Pace Setter Award, which was really cool, and to see chapters, really setting the pace and really setting the bar for other chapters. So I do look into those and I do award those, which is super awesome and special. And then I also am in charge of two larger campaigns. So in the fall, I worked with PRSA National, their marketing team, and we put the Follow the Leader campaign together to hopefully increase membership and really kind of get membership back up after COVID, because we did see, unfortunately, a natural decrease because of the pandemic. So the past vice president of member services, as well as myself, we've really been trying to restore interest and really restore students to come back to PRSSA and highlight all of the benefits. So on the flip side of that, now in the spring, I've turned my focus to high school outreach, because I personally didn't know about PRSSA before I joined college. And I thought that we have so many high schools surrounding our colleges and universities, or even high schools that students might have gone to. So I thought it could be a really great opportunity to flip outreach to high school and really show high school students not only what PRSSA is, but what the public relations field is and the communications field. Because personally, when I was in high school, I didn't really know what PR was. I had heard of it, but it wasn't something that I knew I wanted to major in until I researched and I learned more. So I figured it'd be really awesome to change the focus there and really try to get high schoolers excited about the communications field and the future of the profession, to then hopefully know about PRSSA and want to join once they actually set foot on a college campus.
That is so cool that you're able to work on that. So starting from the beginning, though, I mean, yeah, it's great to hear that, for new members, that you're able to sort of have the meeting with you, sort of that tells you all about what you can do with your membership, and especially having after pay the dues and everything, knowing really what you can do. And I was actually unaware of that, so that's really great that you're able to do that and make sure that everyone's able to sort of utilize this opportunity to the best of their potential.
Yeah, no, thank you. And I know the PRSSA dues for students can be on the higher price side. So that's one thing that we really wanted to make sure that you know where your money's going, you know what you're getting, and all of the connections and the opportunities that can be made through PRSSA, and also telling the success stories and all the stories of the people who have joined that are now PRSA members and working professionally in the field. So really trying to just, I know I've said this a million times already, but maximize your membership and really make sure that you're getting everything that you want out of your membership.
Well, that is great. And I loved hearing a little bit about your high school outreach campaign. And so, out of curiosity, what really drove you and I guess your team to really think of that as a idea? Because that sounds really cool.
Thank you. So I do have to say I had a little help, because previously Allison Hoffman, who's our current PRSSA national president, she did hold my position last cycle around, or last term. And high school outreach was something that she had always wanted to do, but just had never gotten around to it. So when I actually, before I was even on national committee and I had my initial meeting with her to just show my interest, we both got talking on the idea that we both love helping first year students within college. So Allison actually works in the admissions office of her college, Ohio Northern. So she gives tours and she's very heavily involved with first year students. And I actually teach a class here at UF called First Year Florida, where I help students transition to the university, and I give them tools and tips and tricks to make that first semester of college for them as smooth as it can be. So I give them all different resources on campus. I help them set up all of their so we use Canva here, their Canva accounts, submitting assignments, and really I'm a resource for them for any questions they have about, transitioning to a university is a huge deal. Probably your first time living away from home and doing all these things on your own. So it's a 1 credit class. We meet once an hour, and I'm really just a resource for them. So there's a big bus system in Gainesville. I took them on the bus one day to try to navigate that, and just so both of us really bonded over this passion of helping first year students and being a resource for people and first year. So that, crazy enough, kind of transitioned into, so Allison was like, I really wanted to do high school outreach, and you seem like you're the perfect person to kind of pick that up and carry that onward. So high school outreach was something that I focused on while I was campaigning to be on national committee. It was kind of the one thing that I was super passionate about. And I was like, why don't we start before college? Like there's no stopping us going even before they enter a college or university campus. So Allison really gave me the green light on that before I truly even got on national committee. And then once I was lucky enough to be elected, we sat down and we were both like, this is something we have to do. And PRSSA has done it in the past. I believe the last time they had a full-fledged campaign was 2015, 2016. So it was pre-COVID. So I was very lucky. I did have resources to go off of, and I just kind of revamped them and put my own special spin on them, added a few things, and really wanted to revitalize that campaign after COVID. So that's kind of how it got started.
Wow, that's incredible. And so yeah, it's great that you're able to start that outreach early. And so I'm thinking like people that that I know that it's like you're in high school and you don't know which high schools you want. I mean, which colleges you really want to go to, and even like for your major, it's just enough for you to sort of initially find the college. Some people, they know from the very beginning which major they want to do, and other people, it's just, well, I have a sort of interest in this. I'm at least going to go here. And
no, exactly. And that's the thing. Like when you're 18 years old, how are you supposed to know what you want to do for the rest of your life? So even too, I was really heavy into journalism in high school, and I thought I was going to go to college for journalism and be a journalism major. And then luckily I had a wonderful journalism professor that he was like, Lauren, I love you, but I just don't think you could cut it as a hardcore journalist. So we sat down, and I was just lucky that he took that interest in me, and we were chatting about different majors, and then public relations came up, and I was like, oh my gosh, that sounds so fun. Like that's 100% me. And I want to do that. So then from there, I was like, okay, let's apply to colleges with PR programs. But too, so kind of I very much put myself in my own shoes when I was making this campaign. I was like, what was I thinking when I was in high school? Like, what was I looking for? What was I like trying to get out of college tours and like trying to figure out a major? So I figured with high school outreach, even if people don't directly correlate to joining PRSSA, just having an understanding of what PR is, what the communications field is, and how it can help you. And then even if they're like, I want to be a doctor, fantastic, but who knows, they might have a friend who's unsure of what they want to do, and they could be like, you know what, these two girls or this girl and a guy came to my health class and they talked about this PRSSA club. I think you would really like that. And then who knows, that could help one student unsure of where they wanted to go or what they wanted to do going forward. And they could be like, yeah, let me look into PR. That sounds fun. And then who knows, you never know what just sparking a conversation, who it can impact and who it can help.
absolutely love that. And yeah, but it's so true though, especially like, word of mouth is everything. And, and I think it holds so much more weight than just, sort of like, oh yeah, well, even these people, have told us about, but it's just like, oh, it's like these people actually seem enthused about it, and let's try it out.
Definitely. And two, also, the great thing about PRSSA is it's open to all majors. So you don't have to be a PR major. So it was crazy. Like 2 months ago, we were on a PRSSA Twitter chat, and I got into this thread with this one girl, and she was a nursing major, but she's a PRSSA member because she was like, even as a nurse, communication skills are so valuable. And she was like, sometimes people forget how to effectively communicate like really hard medical jargon, and she was like, I love communicating and I love just understanding that realm. So she is fully a PRSSA member and is a nursing major. So I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And I loved talking to her. So that's the thing too. Even if you're not going into PR, there's still so many benefits by joining PRSSA.
Absolutely, and that's great that that they were able to apply the PRSSA knowledge into, into what they're doing in nursing. That's just in my mind really cool. And even I think for me, while not as distant, like I was a media studies student, and so like I just studied everything, but I had a professor within actually two of my classes at the time, and like they were just like I'm the PRSSA sort of, I guess, what is it, faculty member, and it's just like I think that you all would be interested. And I mean, it took several, I think probably a year and a half of me attending meetings, but but I showed up. I was a virtual student, and so I happened to be on campus the day of the first PRSSA meeting of the semester, and I joined like day afterwards. So
Love that. That's awesome. Do you remember what your first meeting was? Was it a guest speaker or like a resume review?
that one was more so like a general, like, let's recoup after winter break meeting.
Gotcha,
Um,
gotcha. Those are
but
always important.
yes, but they were telling us about our upcoming spring trip that we had planned too.
Mm,
So,
cool.
so that was, I guess, January of 2022. So yeah.
Okay. Nice. That's so exciting. I always love hearing that's the thing too, hearing how people got involved with PRSSA. Some people are like, oh yeah, my professors recommended to me. I saw like a giant flyer in the atrium, which is like the main hall, I guess, of our building. And then too, it was word of mouth. One of my older friends in the PR department, she was like, you should join. I was like, okay, like didn't really know what I was joining, but I was like, sure, I saw the flyer. Like looks fun. But yeah, it's always so interesting to see like how people got involved or how they started in the organization.
Yeah, definitely. And you spoke a little bit too about how, that early on, that even though you originally had an interest in journalism, that that one of your professors sort of kindly guided you over to public relations. And so I guess up until that point, like, how was your experience trying to figure out journalism?
It was really fun because I loved the class. So at my high school, in order to write for the school newspaper, you had to be in the journalism class. So I took journalism for 3 years, like J1, 2, and 3. And I just had a really wonderful relationship with my professor, Mr. Bound. I will like, there's some teachers that were just so impactful that you'll never ever forget them throughout your high school, middle school, elementary school time. Well, Mr. Walter Bound is somebody that I will never forget. And he really strengthened my writing and showed me the importance of good writing skills. And that was something that I'd always just liked to write. I never really thought about it technically. Like it was just kind of whatever was in my brain. I kind of just wrote down on paper or typed it up. And I'd always loved storytelling and just really being active with my words. So he was somebody that noticed that I liked to write, and he kind of honed in on my passion for it and would always give me stories and really let me had free reign with what I wanted to write. And then he also kind of instilled in me the grammar nerd and really making sure that yes, I love to write and that was great, but it also had to be grammatically correct and also make sense to the outside reader. So he was somebody very instrumental in that aspect. And honestly, that's helped me so much now with PR. Is it is such a strong verbal and written field, and you really do need to have strong writing. So truthfully, I think my background in journalism, one, has helped me understand the mind of a journalist when I'm trying to pitch stories or do things for class that involved working with the media, but also understanding the importance of strong writing. And that has helped me instrumentally just like transitioning and navigating my way through the PR field. And also, it's so nice to know that I had that support system. And I always tell Mr. Brown, I was like, if it wasn't for you, I would not have moved over to PR. So it was a really great relationship, and he follows me on LinkedIn now, so we still keep in touch. But yeah, so navigating journalism, I my thing with it was I was always on the shyer side, so having to go out and like interview people and having to follow and chase a story, as amazing as it is, and I have so many friends who are journalists and are journalism majors, and they amaze me every day just how brave they are and how willing. Then the things that some of my friends have had to do for these stories is so incredible. My friend Juliana was like in a marsh the other day interviewing this swamp boat company, and it was so, her story was so incredible, and she had her camera out there and she was doing multimedia elements too, and it was incredible. But I just, there was something about the going up to people and really chasing those stories that I was like, I think I'm better on the back end, more in that corporate setting and developing the stories, and obviously still talking to people, but not necessarily being out in that field as a traditional journalist. But it gave me such a huge understanding and such huge respect for journalists and the journalistic profession that I think it maybe wasn't for me, but it's only helped me and my understanding and appreciation for them and for writing and effective communication and storytelling.
I love, first of all, that that your professor made such an impact on you. Yeah, then I mean that's something I think I always love hearing whenever I speak with people is just how the important role that that educators play within our lives and our upbringing.
Absolutely, absolutely. There's a handful of teachers. I got lucky that I had such incredible mentors, like truly from elementary school moving forward. And for the longest time, I wanted to be a teacher as well because I could just see the direct impact that they had. And even now in college, my faculty advisor for PRSSA, Mickey, Pat, and many other professors that I've come in contact with here at the J School have been instrumental as well. And I know I wouldn't be where I am without them. So that's also one of my big things too, is I love to give back and I love to help any way I can, even if it's a small thing like, yeah, I'll look at your resume, or because I had so many people that were willing to help me and willing to, spend 5 minutes and talking to me about something. So that's something I feel like I will always have instilled in me is take the time to give back and take the time to really help those that ask for it. And also it's been in the back of my mind forever that I would 100% come back and teach PR classes or be an adjunct professor at a university or something, because I just feel like that is so rewarding and sharing your passion. And I think that's why I'm so passionate about PR is I can really see my professors' passion and how much they love it, and it translates really well.
I so absolutely love that, especially like whenever it is that you may potentially come back, that's really be like a full circle moment for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that was one of my big reasons why I wanted to teach first year Florida, because I was like, this might be my only chance to be a teacher and in the classroom. And it's the most rewarding thing ever, seeing my students walking around campus and they're like, Lauren, like I got the A on that test, or I actually went to the library and studied. Like small little wins like that is the best thing ever.
I'm so glad. And so how is your experience doing first year Florida? Like and how many years have you been involved with it?
Yeah, so I actually took the class my freshman fall, so fall of 2019. And then again, just having great relationships with teachers and professors. Sarah and Tina were two. The way first year Florida is structured is there's a co-instructor, so somebody who works for the university, and then the peer leader, which is the student. So I was the student peer leader, and it was like the a tag team essentially between the two of us. So it was somebody who worked for the university for like the university perspective, and then the student to relate with the students and the student perspective. So I loved my co-instructor and peer leader while I took the class. And I was a freshman on campus. So I had just joined PRSSA and I was looking for more ways to get involved and meet people. And I just loved the class and I truly saw the impact. I like went to so many places on campus within my first semester that I was like, if I had not taken this class, I guarantee you I would not have known about. So they were like, you should apply to be a peer leader. It would be so much fun. You'd meet so many great people and you obviously love the class. So that's the best testimonial. If you love the class and then now you're teaching it and hopefully you can help students as well. So I applied and I got it in spring 2020. So my second semester, I took a training course to be the peer leader, and I had a cohort of roughly 30 other people who became peer leaders as well. And then in fall 2020, I started to teach the course, and it was crazy because it was supposed to be an in-person course, but because of COVID, we transitioned to online. So I taught the course online my sophomore fall, so fall 2020. And then the course is offered in the fall, spring, and summer, but I only taught fall. So I taught fall 2020, fall 2021, and then fall 2022. So I've taught 3 semesters.
That is really great, and I hope you enjoyed all 3 semesters.
I did. It was awesome. Zoom was definitely difficult to try to create real relationships and tangibly help the students through Zoom because some were on campus, some were at home. But it was a huge learning opportunity for me. But yeah, even now seeing my students that I had on Zoom on campus, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so great to see you in person. But yeah, it was a wonderful, wonderful experience.
I'm so glad. And like I said, that just sounds so great that you're able to do that. And like you said, yeah, be able to give back to your college community. And yeah, and I mean, even already, I mean, you're just doing, yeah, so much. And outside of PRSSA National and of course, first year Florida, are you working on any other things like during your college experience?
Yeah, so involvement has definitely played a very large role in my college experience. I knew going to UF, which is such a big university, in order to make it feel a little smaller and try to really make my friends and real friend groups, I knew I just wanted to kind of dabble in everything and see what I liked. And then once I found what liked, stick with that and kind of move through that all throughout my college experience. So first year Florida was a big one. PRSSA is the biggest guiding light, I guess you could say, throughout my college experience. But then the last piece of that puzzle is called it's a fashion and lifestyle magazine on campus called Strike Magazine. And I have been involved with that since my freshman year as well. I started as a brand ambassador, and then I got to work my way up through the rankings, I guess you could say. And I'm now the external affairs director for Strike. So I oversee the entire external team, which is our brand ambassadors, our sales team, finance team, marketing team, public relations team, and merch team. So yeah, I have 6 teams that I oversee. I got to be the public relations director previously, so that's kind of how I moved my way up. And yeah, it's the nation's largest run or largest student run fashion and lifestyle magazine. There's 12 chapters in the United States, which is really cool, and it actually started at FSU, which is our rival college, I guess you could say, here in Florida. And then UF was the second chapter. But yeah, so that's another thing that's been super instrumental in my college experience. And it was so just like fun for me because I love fashion. Like I love clothes and hair and makeup and dressing up and all of that great stuff. I know I have a sweatshirt on now, so you can't probably tell, but I do love fashion and clothes and all of that great stuff. So it was really cool for me to get into it as hopefully to work on the PR side, and I got to plan their launch parties and do really cool things that obviously related to my major. But also, I don't foresee myself going into the fashion space, but getting to work with so many creative people and seeing their visions come to life because everything is student run. So from our photographers to our hair and makeup artists to the stylings team that makes all the outfits, it gave me such an amazing appreciation even more for the fashion industry and the creative aspects of it and working with photographers and film teams. And it was been a really wonderful experience to see that creative process and see the magazine come to fruition. So I've been really fortunate to be a part of that as well.
That is really cool that you're able to sort of dabble in a little bit of everything, it seems.
Definitely, yeah, because I knew you're only in college for 4 years, so and that's the thing too. PR is such an amazing field because you can really do anything with it, and everybody needs PR, everybody needs communication. So I was like, why don't I try a bunch of different things because I like fashion. So who knows? I want to do fashion PR, or and that was another amazing thing about PRSSA is I met so many people and I got to really delve into so many areas of PR that I never thought even possible. So like I'm really into finance communications right now and doing like quarterly earnings reports for companies. Never in a million years did I think that would come out of my mouth. So, and I never would have had that opportunity if it wasn't for a guest speaker through PRSSA. So that was my like biggest thing. Try everything. And if you don't like it, that's okay. You can just be like, okay, this isn't for me. On to the next. So, and I was just lucky that things stuck in a really great way.
That's just so perfect. And I don't know how you have the time for all of this.
I yeah, that's a great question. I guess time management is another superpower of mine. I've definitely overbooked myself, and there was definitely kinks along the way, and I yeah, sometimes I question that too. I was like, do I have time for all this? But also my biggest thing is I loved all of it, and it never felt like involvement or work, and the people in all of those organizations have truly become some of my best friends, and I think that that's what made it so manageable was because I loved it. I knew from the beginning, and after I really got involved with PRSSA, that I made the right choice. This was the right major. This is what I'm supposed to do, and that kept me going.
Well, I'm so glad that, I mean, that it's all working out. And so, what are your plans for after you officially graduate and walk the stage in just a couple of months?
I know that's the question of the hour. I was fortunate enough to intern with Royal Caribbean Group last summer in Miami. It was truly a life changing, as cliche as it is, really a life changing experience. I met some of the most incredible people, and it really opened my eyes to the travel and tourism industry and just how incredible that industry is. And I made some wonderful, wonderful relationships there. So I'm hoping to go back there after graduation and continue working with that fantastic team. But as of now, I'm still applying, still keeping my options open. I have a couple potential job opportunities that I've submitted my resume and gone through the interview process, but nothing set in stone. But I really would love to work in a corporate setting on the corporate communication side of things, and really developing the story of a brand and the developing the story of the CEOs and the very high leadership teams within those companies. I think that is such an amazing field, and getting really to tell the story of the people who run the companies that you love. So that's kind of where I'm looking right now.
Well, that is actually like so cool. And it's just like, yeah, we started off, with you speaking about how you can maximize your PRSSA membership, and then going into how you're able to try everything, and now you're developing stories, for different organizations and brands. And I mean, that's just really cool that you're able to, yeah, I mean, to truly make the most out of your college experience. And like you said, it's only 4 years. And so, yeah, it's like you might as well use the time the best way you can.
No, exactly. And it's so crazy because I truly never understood the expression time flies until I set foot at the University of Florida on campus. And I feel like I blinked. And I am a senior and I have 2 months left, which is, it's so crazy. But going off of your point, like I truly feel like I left my mark here, and I truly feel like I did everything that I wanted to do. And that was one thing going into college. I was like, don't waste these 4 years, don't try everything. And maybe you'll have some regrets along the way, but you'll never know unless you try and you put yourself out there. So that was my mindset going into it. And I think that was the best thing that I could have, that what 19-year-old Lauren could have said to herself, or 18-year-old Lauren. But yeah, I definitely feel like I did everything I could have to make this the best 4 years ever.
Well, I am just so glad. And I meant to ask earlier, since you mentioned that, yeah, that your family is in New Jersey, how'd you end up at the University of Florida?
Yes, that is probably the most asked question I get, and I love it so much. Well, so my biggest thing was I had never really left home, and like not in a bad way at all. I just never went to summer camp, or like I was always home in New Jersey, and I loved it. I loved growing up in New Jersey. It was for me the perfect place to grow up. But looking for colleges, I was kind of excited to spread my wings a little bit and just see where I applied and where I got in. So again, kind of going back to realizing I wanted to major in public relations, I applied to schools that had strong PR programs, but I knew I wanted a football team. I knew I wanted a really strong sense of community. And UF kind of checked all those brackets, I guess you could say, but I never really heard much about the school and I'd never toured. So I kind of submitted my application on a whim, and my whole family was like, yeah, you can apply to schools in Florida. That's fine. Nobody in a million years thought that this is where I would end up. But they're like, yeah, apply, no worries. So I toured like Syracuse and James Madison and Penn State and schools that a lot of people from my high school in the past had gone to, and they were driving distance from home, like not super far away, but nothing was clicking. I was like, that's a nice campus, but nothing really felt like home, I guess you could say. So I'll never forget, I was a competitive dancer at the time in high school. So I was in dance class, and the UF applications, like decisions came out. So I like excused myself from the ballet bar and I went to my backpack outside to check. And when I saw I got in, I called my mom and I was like, can we at least go look at it? Like, can we just see the school? And my mom was like, sure, I guess, why not? Like, I kind of want to go to Florida. Sounds fun. And I kid you not, like, within 5 minutes of stepping on campus, my mom, my dad, and I, we all looked at each other and we were like, this is where you're going to school. Like, it felt so perfect. It had everything I was looking for. The only downside was it was a plane ride away from home, but my parents were so supportive. They were like, if this is what you want, we'll do everything we can to get you here. It worked out financially. Like it was truly the perfect fit, and it really just felt like home. So that's how I ended up here.
It's like in that moment, like everything clicked, everything worked out.
Everything that all the other schools were missing, or that feel, or that like it all came together in this beautiful package that was the University of Florida.
Wow, and that's so great for, I mean, a college that you had just applied to, just yeah, just because you want to apply, and that, but that you all had that same feeling towards it.
Yeah, it was universal. Like, I will never forget all of us like looking at each other and being like, this is it. Like, it was a unanimous decision.
Do you remember where on campus that was?
Yeah, so actually I do. We were at the Rights Union, which is the student center, and we had just walked outside onto the north lawn, which is a giant grass area right in front of the student center, where we have a bunch of trees on campus, and students set up e-news and like the hammocks. So students were laying in hammocks and just running around and sitting on the grass. It was March, so we had come from New Jersey, and it was freezing and snowing and cold in Jersey, and it was a beautiful like 65-degree day on campus, and it was perfect. The sun was shining, like it was like your picture perfect day in Florida.
That is so cool. I mean, and like I said, this has just been so fun being able to speak with you. But before, like, we even begin wrapping this up, you had mentioned that you were a competitive dancer, and I have to ask about that.
Yes, I was a competitive dancer for 16 years of my life. I started dancing at the age of 2. My mom danced. So, and I'm the oldest daughter, the oldest child actually. So, of course, naturally, my mom put me into dance, and I fell in love with it, and I never stopped. Well, I mean, yes, I did stop. I stopped after my senior year of high school. But yeah, 16 years of my life, and it taught me so many life lessons. It was so much fun. I met a wonderful group of women doing that as well, and it really opened my eyes to hard work, like time management, and really showing like what dedication can do. And I think that fueled my passion coming into the university, and being involved and dedicating your time to something, because it was so rewarding to see, your hard work in the studio pay off, and then transitioning to doing really well on stage. And I think it really instilled in me that hard work does pay off. And if you really want something and you put your mind to it, you can do it. So even though I'm not dancing now, so many skills and like mindsets that I figured out then, I see myself using 100% now. And yes, I loved dance, and like even fashion and dressing up in the costumes and the hair and the makeup, and it was such a big bonding factor for me and my mom. But yeah, it was 16 years well spent, I do have to say.
Wow, that is just so amazing. And I love that, like you said, you're able to take all of these experiences that you have done, past, present, and future, and just really use it to, really, maximize your passions and, do what you want to do. And it's just so great that you're able to, like we said before, just do a little bit of everything and make the most of it.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's my biggest thing. Just do a little bit of everything, and then whatever sticks, sticks, and you'll never regret anything because you tried everything.
Yeah, that is, I mean, just so great. And I definitely look forward to sort of hearing what you end up doing right after high school. And do you plan to be as involved with everything as you are now?
Oh, 100%. PRSSA has been such an instrumental experience and organization in my career. So I will 100% be joining PRSA post grad and really honing in on all of that and all the opportunities that PRSA presents.
That is great to hear. And are you able to also quickly let us know like some of the benefits that yeah, you can get from joining PRSA after high school? I mean, after college.
Absolutely. So the biggest thing is networking and doing and being active within your local PRSA chapter. It's so crazy because I know some members in PRSA who have shared with me. They were like, "Lauren, I've never had to necessarily like apply for another job again because mentors and people that I've met in the field, they're like, "Oh, are you looking for something? I know so and so is actually hiring right now. Let me put your name in and let me apply." I think the biggest thing with PRSA is the willingness of the community to help and the willingness of the community to share their skills and share their mindsets. And especially in a field like PR, it's networking is huge. I mean, it's huge in so many fields, but the biggest thing is really forming not just networking to network, but forming really beneficial relationships and finding those mentors and finding those people that are like-minded as you and willing to help you to really set yourself up for success moving forward. And also there's the PRSA Job Center. So if PRSA members are looking to hire, they're the most likely to go to other PRSA members for looking to fill those roles. So that's another huge benefit as well. You also get to attend Icon. Were you? I believe you were at Icon, right?
Yes, I
Yeah.
was.
So Icon is another incredible benefit, and getting to go to the conference and speak to so many people and hear guest speakers, and even just bonding within your chapter and all the initiatives, the DE&I initiatives that chapters are putting forward, and the student outreach and helping the students. I really think the benefits are endless in terms of what you can do, and it's also you're gonna get out of it what you put into it. So if you're just a member to be a member, great, but you'll get more out of it the more you put into it.
Yeah, that is definitely, like that last part. That's definitely quite true with like anything that you do. I mean, it's one thing to, have your name on, on a organization, put something on your resume, but it's another thing to just really get involved and make the most of it and, truly gain that sense of community.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, well, like I said, this is just such a great opportunity. I mean, even for us, to connect, network, and really get to know each other. And I mean, I'm just so glad that we had a chance to do this.
No, and thank you so much for having me on. I think this is only the second podcast I've ever been on, so this has truly been such a fun experience. I literally had the best time.
I am so glad. Yeah, and if you ever want to come back on, just let me know. I would love to have you.
Of course, absolutely. It would be my pleasure, truthfully.
I'm so glad. And so before we get into wrapping up, is there anything else that you would like to mention before we go into I guess the closing parts?
Yeah, I guess the biggest thing would be if you're looking to get involved with PRSSA, anybody listening, or if you are a member and you want to do high school outreach, please reach out to me. I've been answering emails nonstop for the past couple days, and I've been really overwhelmed with like joy the amount of people who, because my campaign has just started, it's on social media. I sent out a letter to chapter presidents and faculty advisors, and we are starting to push out the material. So people are interested in it, and I've been responding and helping people kind of set up those high school outreach initiatives. So please all my information is on the PRSSA website under Vice President of Member Services. My email is there, my phone number. If I can help you in any way, or even if you're interested in maximizing your membership and you want to know how to access your My PRSA account and all of that great stuff, I'm here as a resource for you. I'd love to help you. So please reach out. All my information, like I said, is on the PRSSA website.
Wow, I'm so glad. And yeah, and for anyone who's interested in following you online or whatever the case may be, where's the best places for them to go ahead and take a look at?
Yeah, I'm always on LinkedIn. I'm a huge LinkedIn girl, so just Lauren Casole on LinkedIn. Also, if you wanted to follow me on Instagram, it's just at Lauren Casole, no space, all just Lauren Casole, my name all the way through. But yeah, please reach out, please connect with me. Like I said, happy to help in any way.
I'm so glad. And for the last part, I did want to allow a moment for you to close us out with whether it be a inspirational quote, thought, or whatever the case may be, to go ahead and end us out on this 8th episode of the Tansson Talks show.
Ooh, I love that so much. I guess kind of on theme with what we were saying, you'll never know unless you try. I think that's my biggest thing. You never know what'll happen unless you try.
I absolutely love that. Have a wonderful day, everyone, and thank you so much for being here, and just let's make things happen. We'll see y'all later. Take care.
Thank you.
Are you interested in having your own podcast station? Well, be sure to check out our sponsor, Podpage, for all of your podcasting needs to help promote your podcasting journey. If you're interested in checking out some of our productive multitasking merch or would like to support the channel, go ahead and check out our merch at merch.tanssonmedia.com. Thank you so much for all your support.